Welcome everyone to another exciting edition of the 8-Bit Show.
8-Bit Show!
Woo! Where we count bits. Do we count bits? Are we like the count?
Yeah, like to 8 of them.
Yeah.
No more though.
2 bits.
Yeah.
3 bits. 4 bits.
I get bored after 8 bits.
That's fair.
I mean, I don't even think I could count bits any higher than that.
What's the point?
Some sort of insanely high number.
What's the point in counting up that high?
That's true.
Right.
I can't name one.
There's 0 and 1. That's all you ever really need.
I mean, there's that one time I counted to 2, but that's because
There's no such thing as 2.
I was led astray by that song, One is the Loneliest Number. Yeah. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Yeah, I got back from Angel Fire today. It was an Angel Fire day. So, boy, are my arms tired.
How's the Angel Fire? Do they get a lot of snow?
Oh yeah, it was fucking crazy up there. Like the road got a little dicey, not for too long, but as I was heading up the mountain, I was like, ooh, okay, maybe I should slow down a little. Don't need to go this fast. But yeah, it's nice and snowy up there. The air is just always so crisp.
It's nice up there.
Yeah. So that was cool. But yeah. How about y'all?
All right. No, yeah. Normal stuff, really.
Mm-hmm.
Going hard on making more YouTube contents.
Yeah. Right. All the content.
That's been fun. Just kind of going through our old, just going through our live videos and turning some of them into shorts.
Yeah,
That's really fun, yeah.
we got a lot there to go through, so
We're pretty funny.
I mean,
our horns, but
we're okay. You know, sometimes they'll laugh at us. Usually, I'm just face palming it.
I'm laughing. That might be because I'm like 5 years old, which is very clear by watching those shorts. So.
That's good. What? Where's my boat?
I just heard your Enderman. I'm scared for you.
Oh, you heard that?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's turn that off. Oh, weird. I don't even know how you heard that. Okay, cool. Whatever.
Yeah, I can still hear it.
Just let me know if you hear it again. Yeah, who wants to start with their week?
I guess I can go.
Okay. Do it.
I had a week. There we go. I'm done.
Well,
Cool. Next.
Moving on. No, I haven't really done too much from last week. Trying to think of what I've done. Not a whole lot. I beat House Flipper 2.
Oh, nice.
At least the quest stuff. That's cool.
Frankie, I could still hear you in the water.
That's very weird. Can
Just
you
so you know.
can you all hear it?
yes.
Why is
Yes,
that?
I can.
Why is
Sorry to interrupt you, Christian.
You're good.
I thought it was just part
It's all
of the
Frankie's
ambience.
fault, really.
It is.
I don't know how it's routing back in, but okay, sure, whatever.
Just background ambient noise.
Right?
It's nice. It's relaxing. I feel like I'm hanging out on the beach, sipping a Mai Tai.
I beat at least the first run. I got to a complete run of Tape to Tape.
Oh yeah.
What's that?
Which it's the roguelike hockey game I talked about last week.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I'm actually playing it right now for the stream.
See that? I just changed it.
It's been pretty fun. Of course, it's a roguelike, so there's like plenty more times to like beat the game and a bunch of stuff to unlock.
All the unlockables.
Yeah.
I really appreciate the art style.
Yeah. Yeah, I like the sense of humor that's going around. Again, you're playing as Angus McShaggy, the pro golfer. And yeah, come take over the land of hockey.
Oh, sometimes you just got to do a career change,
Yeah.
That's true.
But it's a good fun game. Not much else. Downloaded Doctor Who so I could catch up on Doctor Who.
Are you caught up?
No, not really.
How far behind are you?
I need to watch Jodie Whittaker's
Okay.
seasons. I always wait till the next Doctor if I didn't really like the writing or for whatever reason didn't watch the last one. And then I'll catch up for the next Doctor and then we'll try it again.
Fair enough.
We're gonna be starting that horror podcast, so I've been doing some stuff for that. Where me and Andrew are gonna discuss horror movies.
Yeah.
Like a book club.
Nice.
Yeah. It should be fun. That's really about it. I guess from last time I started playing Psychonauts 2 on stream.
Oh yeah, that's right.
On Wednesday nights, so tomorrow night I'll be playing that again. That's super fun. I really like the level and stage design for Psychonauts.
Yeah, it's very interesting. It's I guess lively, is what you'd say. It's very fitting. Like they took some time and care with their level design.
Interesting. Yeah, it's definitely interesting. It'd be kind of gross at times because when I was going through there was the teeth and stuff, but
right.
yeah, just it's designed around that gross stuff. It's really cool. I think the only thing that I kind of thought was a little dumb is at one point you're doing the start of the game and it you have to do the first little fight, so the thing comes out which is a sensor from the last game, one of the bosses or one of the enemies from the last game. And Rasputin acts like he's from the way he talks, it almost like he's never seen one before.
Oh.
And I was like, wait, dude, you just went through a whole game of fighting these guys.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, and everything else it seems like they take into consideration, but it's that one little scene that I noticed. I was like, wait, are they trying to
trying to give a tutorial by not having him know?
Yeah, I don't know. It just seemed like a one weird off moment
right.
for the writing. I guess. Other than that, I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, one little thing. That's better than some games, that's for sure.
I also downloaded Fargo so I can catch up on that and watch that because someone can't stop bugging me about watching it.
Yeah,
It's so good.
Ashley.
It's so good. You'll thank me later.
I like that Ashley was the one who take so that should be good. That should be good. Got some TV stuff to watch.
Yeah.
I haven't really been in a TV mood too much, so I'll probably be getting back to that.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's about it though. Not really much else.
Cool. Andrew, Ashley, either one?
Frankie?
Yes,
No, I'm going
we'll,
last.
We'll go collectively. No, mine's pretty short. I haven't been doing too much this week. Been playing State of Decay on stream. We went and watched Serenity at the movie theater. What has beer at it too?
Mm-hmm.
You were there, and you were there.
I heard that was close to someone's birthday.
Yeah, both of our birthdays.
Yeah. Which person?
Well, whose came first? Let's go with that.
I guess mine. Yeah.
Krishna has birthday before, so mine was the closest without going over.
His was the closest if we're playing by Price is Right rules, and we are always playing by the Price is Right.
Oh, that reminds me. I gotta come
That's
and
fair.
gotta come and give you your gift.
Yeah, you got to come get your gift
Yeah.
Mhm.
that I forgot to give you the last time you were over here, and you forgot to grab.
Right. So yeah, we had other things going on. It's fine.
I forgot to remind you guys too. We all messed up, but
Right.
most of you too. Not me.
But mostly
It wasn't my job.
That's fair. That's very fair.
Oh, way to pass off blame. I mean, you really didn't have anything to do with it, but still, passing blame.
Yep. Pass the buck.
You know, I do.
You
gotta
know
say,
me
though,
and my memory.
I do
You should
still.
always be reminding me.
I do still enjoy that movie though.
It's good. I did feel like it's a bit rushed. Like,
It's funny. I was thinking that too. It's like, you know, I never felt this before, but you can tell there's like things that they wanted to do, but they were
Well, like-
probably running out of money and time.
like Kaylee Simons' relationship kind of seems to come out of the blue if you've never seen Firefly before.
Well,
Obviously,
yeah,
it's like
but I
set
mean-
up during Firefly that something like that's going to happen.
Yeah.
Well, they have like no time to set any. Well, they don't have time to set anything up in the movie.
But I mean, if there's going to be a time to do anything, I guess it's then.
But it does lead to one hell of a thing, which is it is like constant something going on. Like something is happening fairly important at like all time.
Yeah. That it makes for a not dull movie. That's for sure.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, now that we've talked significantly over your portion, Andrew.
That's okay. Like I said, I didn't have much to cover, so.
Hey, he was the one talking about Firefly. Not my fault. Bring Firefly into this group, you're gonna expect a conversation.
You brought it up. Yeah. Okay. Yes. Watched I'm actually pretty excited for the episode of Fargo tonight. It should be the last episode for the season, but last week's episode, crazy, going down.
Oh, really?
Are you
It's-
yelling
it's
timber?
Getting bananas.
Shit is getting pretty crazy.
Okay, fine. I'll download it and watch it. I mean, purchase it legally.
Oh yeah, no, I
downloaded it completely
watched it.
legally.
Mm-hmm.
Did you?
Just don't look into that.
Even a cursory
Google search.
will corroborate.
Definitely don't look at like my emails, or I got like a bunch from like Xfinity occasionally. I do but I do like a download bundle, and I'll get like 2 or 3 emails, and then just not download anything for like a month.
Yep. I know what you're talking about. I've received those letters too.
Yeah, well, like a friend of mine. I've never done.
There's a
About that.
new, well, not new, it's not a new show, but new season of a show started. I checked out today, which I'm pretty excited about. It's nice. It's coming on the tail of Fargo ending as well, because they're not really like the same show, but they're kind of like the same vibe. New season of True Detectives started up.
Oh.
So I saw the first episode of that. Looks really good, actually. Well, I mean, the first episode was good. Jodie Foster starring this season.
I fell off during the second season.
Yeah, the second season's bad.
Yeah, I've heard of it. I never watched any of it, but
I didn't see the third season. It's all anthology stuff, so you don't really need to have seen any of the other seasons. I also fell off in the second season. First season's like awesome. It's great.
Yeah, first season was good.
Matthew McConaughey crushes it.
mhm.
All right.
That's the first time I thought I could take him like somewhat seriously.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he's doing really well as like a serious actor in that.
Oh,
So
who was
he's
it that I
promising
saw
good.
that's like saying they want to do like more serious roles in acting?
I don't know.
The Rock. That was it. The Rock.
Oh.
He wants to do more serious roles, apparently.
Well, good luck to him in that.
Yeah.
I don't know who's going to take him seriously.
I don't know.
I mean, if he does a
I guess
good
it
job,
depends on,
I could do
I
it.
guess it depends on what the movie is and how he does.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But yeah, new True Detectives. We got written and directed by a lady. Looks like we're gonna have a female-driven cast this time.
Do you know who the director is?
I forgot her name.
You want me to look it up real fast?
I can pick it up real fast. It's, True Defective. That's it. Cast.
What the fuck? I did not ask to exit my boat. Thank you, Minecraft.
Issa Lopez,
Oh, cool.
or I guess more specifically, Issa Laura Lopez Lozano. That's her full name. She's the showrunner.
Too much alliteration.
She's the showrunner, writer, and director, which I think I'm gonna like for this season. I usually like that in stuff because it gives you the you get like a singular vision. Stuff's not gonna get lost in translation between like the writer and the director and stuff.
Right.
This is the first season without the guy who was the showrunner.
Oh,
Came
okay.
up with the show. And we got Jodie Foster and Callie Reese as the detectives we're following. The titular True Detectives. This season we're up in Alaska, like northern Alaska, at some like research outpost way up north in some small town, but takes place in the middle of December, so the sun just went down for the rest of the year, and so they're just gonna have to do. Looks like the whole season is gonna be just like in the dark, since the sun won't be coming up for a while. So I think it's fun setting for it. It's a lot of cool things going on with the show. I don't know where it's gonna go. First episode was pretty cool. Raised more questions than it answered, but they got some corpses. They got a mystery to solve. These detectives.
You don't want to know about it here.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
And I think that's about it for everything I've been doing. I didn't really watch any like movies or anything. Well, except Serenity.
Yeah.
I've seen that. And I mean, it does all feel rushed, and none of the characters without the TV show, that movie's terrible. It's a great ending to the TV show because there wasn't any other ending that we were gonna have, but
Well,
it's not. It's a pretty bad movie. It's pretty rough.
I don't know, because the first time that I ever like saw anything Firefly was Serenity, and I mean, granted, we were drinking, but I wasn't drunk because I was in Massachusetts, and I guess like Elevation must have counted for something because everyone was pretty drunk, and I was like, yeah, I'm like stone cold sober here.
Oh man, Elevation definitely counts.
Yeah, it's weird.
It does, yeah.
It
The
was
only
so
time I've ever
weird.
drinking like a 12-pack of beer by myself is when I went down to like, ocean level. It was like, drank like 6 beers. It was like, forgot I drank 6 beers just because like I wasn't drunk. Here, I
Yep.
drink 6 beers, and I'm definitely gonna know I drank 6 beers.
Oh, yeah,
and
no,
want to die.
I had like 4 shots, like almost back to back to back, and like it was just nothing, and I was like, okay, I guess, like, guess that's a thing now. And then it like dawned on me, like, oh my god, Elevation is real,
I don't think about it since we live here so often.
right?
Yeah,
All the time.
Yeah,
I heard-
it's
I heard
pretty,
I've heard that's a thing. Like if you're like an alcoholic, and you move
Oh.
to a lower like sea level.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine everything gets a lot more expensive to get drunk.
Right.
Well, not only that, it becomes like severely dangerous because it'll take
Yeah.
you a lot to get drunk. And
Yep.
It doesn't matter that like your tolerance. Poisoning is poisoning.
Yeah, exactly. Huh. Yeah, that's crazy. But yeah, anyway, so when I saw it though at that time, like I was totally engrossed into it, like, and like because everybody was drunk, like they were all amazed that I'd never seen it, but nobody told me that there was a TV show.
I think I was one of like 5 people who watched that show when it came out. Only because like my mom is also really into like a lot of sci-fi stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So it was just instantly something both of us were gonna like watch
Yeah.
together.
But yeah.
We also did that with like Farscape and a bunch of other sci-fi.
Fucking Farscape. God, I hated that show so much.
I love Farscape.
Wait, you
Jim
like
Henson.
I hated it.
Jim Henson.
Every bit of it, I hated so.
It's Jim Henson.
That's
You keep
cool.
saying
Yeah,
that.
I couldn't get into that one either.
Doesn't make it good to me.
You keep saying that name, but it doesn't matter.
But yeah, nothing else, Andrew?
Uh,
You're-
no, I lead a very boring life. Playing Hades right now.
80s. Yeah.
That's just been my screw around.
I can't wait for Hades 2.
Like also or the sequel?
Yes.
Waiting.
Yes.
Ashley?
I've played Hades. I'm not waiting for it.
Oh, just making sure.
Good to know.
Yeah,
How was your
I'm
week?
glad we figured that out.
My week was pretty good. I had a 3-day weekend, so that was
Yeah.
nice. Played Starfield and made some progress. I got the second power, so
Mhm.
now I have to deal with the Starborn people.
You're
being
now further
assholes.
than me, so
Um,
not a hard thing to do when it comes to video games.
played some Fae Farm, Frankie and Rianne.
Mm-hmm. I love that game.
That's really it for game. I watched the new episode of Fargo, or last week's episode of Fargo, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
And then I watched Rebel Moon on Netflix.
How's that?
It's decent.
It's Zack Snyder, right?
Yeah, so it's just the first part. I think the second part comes out in April. I
Mm.
mean, it's worth watching. It's like not super spectacular though, but it's like
I
a
remember reading this was like, the like using his like
His
script
pitch
from
for
what he
Star
was
Wars.
yeah, his Star Wars pitch.
Yep.
interesting.
Yeah, somebody I think it was on CatCast that GPD was saying like if you know that, you're gonna feel that. You're like, this thing is trying real hard to be Star Wars. Because it was at one point.
I don't see it.
Really? He was saying there's
No,
even like a whole cantina scene that's like
I mean, there is that, but I mean that doesn't make a Star Wars movie.
well,
Well, I'm sure that like they went off of like and made like some of it a bit different.
oh yeah, no.
I
for
mean,
sure.
I would say it feels more like Warhammer than Star Wars.
Oh really?
Yeah.
But that's just
Well, no, I guess
what I know.
Wombat was saying that he said something along the lines of he could like feel the cantina scene, and like just I guess in his mind he was like, if there's some scruffy character that just comes along in a second here and says, "I'll take you where you need to go," I'm done with this, and that's exactly what happened. Yep.
Like a lot of westerns.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
I think
yeah,
it
yeah,
had more of
totally.
that feel than anything.
Well, he was
Well,
saying
I mean,
he still continued to
Star Wars
watch.
is just like a western, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, and samurai movies.
Mm-hmm.
Spaghetti Western, baby.
And then I watched Pandorum, which is an older movie.
Yeah, seen that flick with Dennis Quaid?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good
Nice.
movie.
Yes and no. It is. I liked the idea of it, but you could tell it was not like a high budget movie.
No,
Which
it doesn't.
doesn't
Not
make
a
it
lot of
good,
money
but
in that
it-
movie.
If it had a better budget, it could have been a little bit better.
Yeah.
But I mean, the story was good. I like the twist.
It's fun concept.
Oh, there's a
Yeah.
twist.
No. What else have I been doing? Catching up on sleep. That's always nice.
That is
Spending
nice.
time with the puppy.
Is that what you did with your day off? Just catch up on sleep? Your extra day off?
No, I did that Saturday.
Oh, okay. That's right, too.
Yeah. So I did like some stuff around the house, like cleaning and picking up, and then I was like, I'm gonna put on YouTube and fall asleep on the couch.
Mm-hmm.
And it was pretty great.
That's fair.
I've been watching Adrian play Callisto Protocol. Like in his skin.
Oh, yeah. I wanted to play that. I totally forgot about that game. It was a thing.
Yeah. I mean,
I heard a lot of negative reviews about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
meh.
I mean, I can't say whether it's good or bad or not.
I
The
mean,
reviews, I mean.
Adrian hasn't really had any complaints as far as like mechanics or gameplay. The story is nothing great, but I wasn't really expecting anything. Like you're in a prison, you're trying to sort it out.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But it is, I mean, it's Dead Space basically with the creepy crawlies and the jump scares.
Yeah. Okay.
I guess that's about it.
I think I'll still probably eventually check it out.
I mean, if you got it on sale, I would say is definitely worth it.
Okay.
But when
Yeah,
it came out, I think it was like $70, and that I think was overpriced.
Gotcha.
Maybe see if it doesn't pop up on like one of the epic giveaways.
Yeah. Right.
Oh yeah,
Epic
then for sure.
giveaways.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I always love those style games, you know?
Oh, yeah.
Dead
Totally.
Space, Resident Evil, that shit's like my jam.
That's true. That is your jam.
Frankie, how was your week?
I like those ones because they're short enough that I can beat them.
Yeah, well, like, I don't know. I think Dead Space was just, it felt so unique and like just so well done at the time.
It was definitely a very good way of bringing some things in that we just had never quite seen done well. You know, the no HUD.
Well, and then like
Or like
actively
integrated HUD. I don't want to say no HUD, but like the integration of the HUD into like graphics
Yeah.
and character design and stuff is just, it's such a cool and unique idea.
Yeah, and
creepy
then the
crawly
way that
sound
they
design.
I mean, good sound design is just good sound design. But the one thing that I liked is actually incorporating the way they incorporated doing the chopping off the limbs to kill the bad guys.
Oh yeah, dismemberment being a focus, a
Yeah.
heavy focus of killing.
Well, yeah, because I mean, it was
It gave you some.
That's how
like,
you get the loot out of the bodies.
It's also made for some like cool weapons, like unique weapons.
well, yeah, no,
that fit,
using
like the whole engineering aesthetic.
exactly, yeah, using that as like almost a basis of like, oh yeah, here's why you are using these tools, or why you're equipped in this way. That just happens to work so well. It was great. They did a solid job. It's too bad the third one was crap.
I don't think I ever played the third one.
It has too much action. Like it wasn't
wasn't even
necessarily a
that for
bad
me.
game.
It was
It just lost everything Dead Space.
And-
Like it wasn't necessarily like a bad game.
I think
It
it was a
had
bad
some
game.
cool, like intense. I thought it had some cool, intense, like action sets.
I thought it was boring. And
Was it like a game that didn't need to exist?
Yeah,
yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, the story just like it felt so different too. Like it's one thing if you pull something off like Resident Evil, where it's like, no, like yeah, this Resident Evil 4 felt different. It played different, and the story was different, but it still like had this Resident Evil feel. Everything was pretty much gone from Dead Space. So I mean, you could have just slapped on a different skin on it, and it probably would have done better. Honestly,
it just seemed to match more to me with like some like, especially story wise, some generic sci-fi planet.
yeah,
game.
yeah, no, agreed. I agree with that. It was,
In fact, it probably would have ended up better, and you probably could have done a better story by making like the two guys like brothers and shit. You know.
yeah,
It made a
there's,
way more like compelling story if you just didn't tie it to Dead Space.
yeah, there's a lot they could have done that would have been better. A lot, but oh well.
Dead Space 2 is good though. I like Dead Space 2.
I like Dead Space 2. I don't think I liked it as much as the first one. Not that it was bad. I just think the first one just had a bigger impact.
I don't know. The second one has like one of the like creepiest. I mean, you go to like the maternity ward.
Yeah, I remember that. That's yeah.
So
What about Extraction? I think that was on the Wii, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. I forgot
that
about
was
that.
the like on-rail shooter, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, I always enjoy those type of games. So I'm maybe not the best judge of character for it. Was it done by the same guys who did the Resident Evil one?
That's a good question. I don't know.
I don't know.
The Chronicles?
Yeah, the Dark Side and the Umbrella Chronicles.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see. Was it Umbrella Chronicles? Who
Those
developed
were some-
that?
Those were some really fun rail shooters, and that's what I think the Wii brought back hardcore was some on-rail shooter games.
Oh, so it was, I mean, it felt like you were playing in the arcade.
You're in the arcade.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's great.
I mean, not a big old heavy gun, although they sold that accessory, so you could.
Right. So it looks
They
like
sold all stupid accessories for the Wii. You guys remember all those stupid?
right.
So many
So-
of the
Oh, I know.
ones that came with the Link's bow training or whatever.
Yeah, just
Yeah.
all of the stupid plastic things that you could attach your Wii to. Your Wii con
I'm
to.
sure kids love the crap out of that, though. You know, it must have been a great time to be like a 7-8 year old kid.
Oh yeah, Oh yeah, I would have bought my kid a Wii with like all the plastic things in there.
Oh yeah, totally. So they
like
were
the
different.
cardboard ones.
They were different developers. Extraction was Eurocom, and Resident Evil was Cavia.
Okay.
Never heard of it again.
Yep, never heard of any. I think I actually I have heard of Eurocom, but I don't know where. But Cavia, I've never heard of. So.
Yeah, I don't know. I couldn't tell you. I just thought maybe they were, because they all feel very similar to each other. Those ones especially.
Mm-hmm.
I remember the anime, the like cartoon, the animes that came
the
out
Dead Space animated and the Resident Evil animated things.
Yeah, the Dead Space ones especially were really good.
Agreed.
They added to that creep lore.
Yeah, it was good stuff.
Have you checked out either of the books?
No,
No,
I forgot about those too.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't even know there were books.
Oh, really? You didn't?
Yeah, I think there's just two.
Because did you pick those up back in the day, Ashley, or who was that?
Maybe.
There's definitely.
I definitely haven't read them though.
I've gotten. I think I have them on like ebooks in PDF form, but I have the Diablo books.
Mm-hmm.
There was like 3 of them that were written.
Nice. Yeah, there's a decent amount of like video game books.
Princesses.
Right? Did you guys ever pick up any of the Worlds of Power books in like elementary school?
No.
So I think they had Sonic and Mario, but the one that I got, I absolutely had to get, just because it was like this little game that I just absolutely loved, on my brother's Commodore 64 called Infiltrator, and the book was like supposed to kind of be like a prequel-ish, or I think it's supposed to be what happened, I guess, during the first game, which the 2 games are pretty much the same thing, but it put it into like the spy novel sort of thing that was going on, obviously for kids, and it was like, as a kid, it was super exciting and cool.
That's cool.
Yeah,
I heard that book fairs are like dying.
oh, that's sad.
It is sad.
Well, when you have a bunch of elementary school or a bunch of schools across the nation and places trying to get rid of books,
Right.
Guess it makes sense.
Guess that kind of leads into what I've been doing. Not in that way, sorry.
You've been burning books.
I've been burning books. No.
Now, is this to stay warm or? Because one, I understand.
No, so I haven't really been playing a whole lot of games, other than what I've been streaming. But let's see. So Mario Wonder, still pretty fun. That's all good and dandy. Ori is great. Although what I did in the last stream, it was another one of those like challenge arena things, battle arenas. Without that fucking trinket on, it felt so easy. Like I literally beat it and I was just like, oh, I'm done? That's weird.
Was it?
Yeah. So that was
I didn't
good.
die 15 times.
I think I only died 3 times. So instead of more like 30, so 40. But I did check out. So I heard about this. That there was a George Carlin AI thing. Did you guys hear about this?
Yeah, I did.
So Cheapy D was talking about it on the podcast, on the CADcast, and he included some clips from it, and he was talking about how it's just crazy that the jokes are actually like they're funny. And he wasn't expecting that. So I checked it out, and yeah, it was really weird because like not all of them are good, but like there's a pretty good portion that are, and it also feels like it's very much in George Carlin style. Like this, it literally could have been him doing this. It's crazy.
So I guess that's a good part to bring up, that the George Carlin estate is very much not happy.
Oh, I'm sure they're not. But I mean, and it's one of those things too, like there's a whole section on it about like how, like what is AI? Like there's a whole AI sort of section on it. And what's crazy, I thought, is because George Carlin, he's not just funny, but he's also kind of thought-provoking too, right? Like you can sit there and like actually think about what he's saying and be like, all right, there's definitely like some truth to this. Or at least something that makes you go, oh, huh. So like having a whole AI section where he's like diving into like some of the implications of what's coming, it was like one of those things where it's like, again, it just felt like if George Carlin was alive today, that it's something that he very well could have spoken on. But yeah, it was just it was interesting.
I'm gonna go ahead and read this for it then. This is Kelly Carlin, his daughter's statement regarding the special. She said, "My dad spent a lifetime protecting his craft from his very human life, brain, and imagination. No machine will ever replace his genius. These AI-generated products are a clever attempt to try and recreate a mind." Hold on, there's more. Recreate a mind that will never again exist. Let the artist's work speak for itself. Humans are so afraid of the void that we can't let what has fallen into it stay there. Here's an idea. How about we give some actual living human comedians a listen to? But if you want to listen to a genuine George Carlin, he has 14 specials that you can find anywhere. That was her complete statement of that.
Well, what's interesting is I wonder, like, is this going to bring some younger kids who have no idea who George Carlin is to look at his stuff? You know, I mean, it's very, like...
To be fair, I think there's a more, like, genuine and honest way to do that besides AI. I don't have a high respect or praise for anything AI, except for maybe using it as a tool in things.
But so that's really interesting, because that's part of the thought-provoking part. Is that's exactly what he's kind of getting across, or what this AI like says in this special, is that like it's just a tool, and this is just a tool to use in this way, like that you can use in a creative way.
Also, on that, the people who produced that content, that special, did it exploitatively. They took someone who is dead. That's, sorry, 100% completely wrong, especially without the permission of the estate or any family to do so.
Well, but okay, but I mean, what about like Elvis impersonators or something like that? Is that wrong as well?
Those people are actually putting on a performance, though. When you get a Elvis impersonator, you know you're putting on an Elvis impersonator.
But I mean, what's the difference between?
And those were also approved of by an estate to do.
Not all of them. That's for damn sure.
Well, maybe not the estate, but the people who owned it.
Like, again, not all of them. It's a big thing.
And I just think, especially nowadays, when you have such things where like you have voice actors who are struggling to not be replaced by AI. And all this shit, it's just kind of gross to promote AI content outside of being like really a basic tool.
I mean, I think my whole opinion of AI is that's all it is. It's another tool. You can use it for good or bad. And it's all going to be dependent on how the person's going to use it. Some of it's going to be something that I'm not going to agree with, in the same way that you could do that with any other tool out there.
I'm really hoping that my job can be made easier by AI, mostly because the people I work with are too old to figure it out.
Yeah, and that's
I think,
So if I could just do all of my work
so I think there's
for
like I
this
said, there's
other
a place-
means, and then
there's a-
just be like, oh yeah, I did all of this. I'm so great.
I truly think that there's a place for AI. In fact, one of the things I have today in news, we were kind of talking about it yesterday, or in something, we were talking about the Game Shark. They're coming back.
Mhm. And they're positioning themselves as an AI company and everything too. So
Yeah, and their AI technology they're using is like they've created. Their products right now are like a controller, like a video game controller, a mouse, and keyboard. With like AI technologies, like the mouse will be able to like, after a while, be able to like set your like DPI automatically, so you're always
Yeah,
having a
that's
nice
right.
smooth experience. The keyboard will be able to like recommend you like macros and stuff based on how you use it. Like in that sort of sense, I think AI could be like a real help.
Yeah, and well, that's what I really liked about the special is that's another part that he says like AI isn't like it's not really going to replace anybody's jobs. It's just going to make everybody's jobs easier, and that's something that people have always wanted. So
Look at the thing,
and it's going to make your life easier. It's going to be a quality of life thing that can be there for you.
I think it can.
Well,
But with as exploitative as things can already be, those things need to be like fought for, and like we need to push for like still having our creative human artists being over having an AI completely AI generated piece, you know?
Yeah, and I mean I think that's I don't know, like that's part of what was in that special too, is that's exactly what this AI was saying, is that what it's going to get rid of are artists. Like this is what's coming. Like as more and more people use AI and can throw things into a machine learning tool, a person's works can just be recreated and you can do exactly what they did with George Carlin. And that's the thing that's really going to be threatened. So his whole thing was like, yes, like artwork is being threatened. It's coming. And it's thought provoking in that way. Like, yeah, like everybody being worried about that AI is coming for their jobs isn't what you got to be worried about. It's literally the art. Which again, I think that's super interesting that that's what the AI spit out, but
how could that I'm sorry. I'm obviously a little too angry about this one subject.
What do you
I
mean
don't think
how?
it's interesting at all because someone put that information that they wanted in there.
Well, yeah,
They could have easily said to that machine, that AI machine, hey, include these segments.
they
It's
could
not
have,
interesting because
but
they could have done it.
they just asked them. Well, according to what they said, they asked them
According
to
to what they
write.
said.
Yeah, they asked them to
That's
write
the thing we're
jokes about
supposed to
AIs.
believe. And not to mention, some of this is like so poignant into these things, yet flies in the face of everything that they just did by recreating George Carlin without permission, without any. It's disgusting. It's disgusting. Exploitative at best.
I don't know. I think it's something that's interesting because we've seen this with AI where it goes contradictory on itself. Because it's not real AI, right? Like it's not actually thinking for itself at this point.
That's another reason that I don't like to stand for like stuff like that, especially art ones, because you got to take that art from somewhere. So some real artist work is being stolen, and the only way to prove that it's not is
not
if
necessarily
if
stolen,
signed
but
up.
it is coming from somewhere. It one way or
The
another.
only way to prove that it's not is if you've had you have a very proof data of like the artist
Yeah, of course.
involved in your engine.
Yeah.
Actually, Steam released new AI guidelines recently.
Yeah.
That are interesting. They're going to allow AI stuff, but there's a lot of like restrictions and stuff like that. You basically, again, you have to be able to prove that none of the art used in the algorithm that you use for your AI is stolen.
Yeah. Well, have you
100% have to be able to prove that.
Did you see that that Ravs was showing it off, that AI game where it's like you're a vampire and you have to like convince the AI that you're not a vampire to get into their house to suck their blood or whatever, because you have to be invited in.
Mm-hmm.
It's a pretty cool concept, I think. I think it's a unique way at using AI too.
Well, like I said, I think there's some interesting things there. There's like that one chick, I don't know if you've ever seen her on YouTube. She does a bunch of virtual reality. And she's been doing virtual reality mixed with mixing Chat GPT with Skyrim.
Oh no, I don't think I've seen her.
Yeah, they've added like the Chat GPT capability to the inhabitants of Skyrim, so she can like talk to them and stuff.
Oh, I've heard about that. Yeah. I've seen Code Miko do some similar sort of things.
I mean, obviously, from what I've watched of her things, it's really rough and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the voice used is clearly, it's obviously very much the cut version of like the actor. So I think there could be better ways to do it. And again, I think there's ways to use AI. I think we need to fight for it to be like done properly.
Well, but here's
with the proper people in mind.
Yeah, and here's the interesting question about it, because like last week I saw a video from This Week in Tech where they were talking about AI and how its implications on journalism. And the question is like, if something is out there in the public, should AI be able to use it at all? Like, especially if you're recalling information, if you're trying to give answers. And I mean, that's something that hasn't been settled for journalists at this point, you know?
Mm-hmm.
These are things that are like, the implications are interesting, I think. Because like the argument that I've seen against what you're saying, like for art, is that if you're not making somebody pay for what you're creating with AI, even if it is using somebody's art that they didn't necessarily pay for the rights for, as long as they're not charging anybody, is that necessarily a bad thing? Because it's inspiring more creativity.
Again, it depends on where you got that art from. Did you ethically source your generated art that your machine's learning from?
But that's what I mean is like, if you're
gonna have an AI like that, something that's gonna be able to recreate pictures and stuff.
Yeah, and
there has to be. I saw a good example of it. This guy put in just generically, boy, girl, a man and woman, and an apocalypse. That's it. It was like a sentence long thing.
Yeah.
He got a big old spread out like they like to do, you know, like the 15 or so images in the little box. And they were
that's what it spat out, like 15 images.
Yeah, it's one of those ones where like you put in the thing and it gives you like 15 images based on that. Yeah. And then you can kind of keep narrowing the field down or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But the first 15 off of that one sentence were all The Last of Us cover. Like every one of them was The Last of Us cover.
Jeez, wow.
That's what I mean, like stolen art. Like make sure like the people like get a team of artists together to create a bunch of art to add into this thing. Now you can be like, okay, look, all these have agreed that this is our art. Or buy, or you know, if you're wanting to create one, go buy a bunch of art and tell the artist what's going on with that art. Because it's going to be used again to kind of recreate their style, their image, like their thing.
Yeah, right. I mean, I definitely
I think
understand
there's
that.
ethically ways to do it. It's just
I think that
in this like world we have, I don't think it's going to happen that way.
no, and I don't think so either. But that's part of the thing is that just because that's what I believe, I don't know if that's necessarily the right thing. Like, it's a tough question because like people do have a point when it's like, well, art should be free. Like, look at what restricting art and trying to have somebody have control of their own art led to. It led to these crazy copyright that where Mickey's like under control for forever, you know, where nobody can use it for so long. And
I think that's a discussion on the artists. It's on like the artists themselves. I know lots of artists who release most of their artwork for free. Like you can use it for whatever you want.
Yeah.
Some big ones too.
Yeah, but that's the thing is that if you're saying that, like you were saying, I agree that it should be up to the artist, at least to some degree. I don't know for how long, but I don't think things need to be entered into the public domain immediately. But there are some people that do believe that, you know, they have a very strong socialist, communist ideal in them where it's like things that you create should be there publicly available for the betterment of everybody. And I understand that argument. I don't agree with it all the time, but I understand it. And I don't know if it's necessarily right or not.
Look, as much as I would love to say that, like, yeah, once you put something out there, all that, the fact is, like, we live in a different society than that. And these people who aren't being given enough for what they're given, especially in the world that we live in. Given credit, you want these businesses to like keep taking away from them, like
yeah, and well, but that's the interesting thing of like what I think this George Carlin special has kind of brought out, and why I'm glad that we're like podcasts like us are talking about this because, I mean, he is dead, so in that alone, like he can't make that
family.
He does have family, but like some people absolutely hate that stuff goes to the estate because it's not the artist anymore.
Look, I know some estates who do some pretty terrible stuff, but there's something about like just asking permission for using the likeness to somebody. And that includes the likeness to art, likeness to your image, you know, likeness to your voice. Like, it's always been a respectful thing.
No, I again, it's something that I agree with you. Ooh, I just found amethyst geode place. So pretty. But yeah, I mean,
I like the sounds it makes.
Right.
Just like, you know, you can film in public and stuff, but if you want to start like producing like stuff that's going to be money wise, you need to ask the people who are going to be in it.
Yeah. But I mean, again,
I think it's the same type of thing. Like you need, and they're wanting to like sign that away to where like these voice actors now get it like it could just be replaced easily by like a couple days worth of work. Now they're not needed anymore.
Right. Yeah, and I do understand the application of that too. But again, I think it brings up just the basic question of like these are what AI is doing isn't what anybody who could take the time to do wouldn't be able to do on their own. Like anybody can impersonate a voice, write in the style of anybody, make songs in the style of somebody, and I think legally whatever's going to shake up out of that, it could be both really.
I think a lot of those people
really
are just trying to bring up I think those people are just trying to bring up like copyright, which I think is wholly different than like giving credit and credence to like artists and compensating people correctly. I think those are two different things than like copyright.
I mean, yeah, I agree, but that's one thing too, that like where does that begin and end though? You know, that line is really, I don't know, it's something difficult, I think. And it's something that we're going to have to figure out because this is the way that the world is going. So, like you said,
I think it comes down to like, I'm sure you'd get like a number of voice actors who'd be down to be part of like a game that used AI voice technology where they went in and recorded a bunch of lines that could be, used to create a whole bunch like, a growing speech pattern. I'm sure they would. The thing there is compensation. Compensate them properly, correctly, for said work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, again, and that's the super difficult part, is that some people have these contracts that are just they're way too big. They call in for those things because they're starting out, and they get shoehorned into something that they didn't realize is going to impact them, 10 years down the line. Like, somebody could use that very idea that you're using to exploit somebody who's starting out in the business. And so, again, it's just a thing that we're going to have to figure out, and nobody has the answer right now. But I think it's important that people are talking about it, because shit's going to hit the fan with it one way or another, I think.
Well, I'll make it clear. I'm on the artist side. A lot of what's happening with their stuff is pretty gross. That George Carlin thing I thought was disgusting.
Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if it's disgusting or not, but I wanted to check it out to see what it was all about. And A, I'm amazed. B, like, what it does.
Had someone given permission to that, I guess I could have. Had someone like, they went and asked the family if it's cool they do this, and permission was given, I would have had very little to say about it. But it just seems kind of gross to try and use someone's likeness, like dead people and stuff. I thought it was gross when Disney did it with like Grand Moff Tarkin and all the like that. I think it's weird with the de-aging thing.
Well, but didn't the family give permission for Grand Moff Tarkin?
Yeah, that's why I
what's his
can't
name?
really. Yeah, that's why I can't really say anything. I just thought it was kind of weird because that person's dead.
Well, intentional de-aging is always weird.
Yeah.
And not to mention it looked off-putting, and that's just like the graphics.
Well, the Luke Skywalker one was way worse, though.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Mandalorian. Yeah,
Yes, that was-
cast Stan. What's his name?
Yeah,
Who
Sebastian
looks
Stan.
Sebastian Stan, who looks exactly like Mark Hamill.
Pretty close. He looks pretty close.
He looks like a young Mark Hamill
Yeah,
with like, with a more like current century outlook, like
Right.
look to him.
But yeah, I don't know. The thing is that I was surprised that it made me laugh, and I was more surprised that it made me think about what AI is going to mean, and more importantly, how most of the people aren't talking about this. Most people do not care about this
I would
or other
say-
big issues.
I would say also just take into consideration that that's done by AI, but how much was actually done? Unless that guy proves like how he like releases information of what he did to come up with his thing, you don't know what he put in there.
You don't,
Make sure it says.
But what you are kind of arguing for is that he did put in more of his own work than originally thought.
Is that can work?
I mean, it's still more of his own work.
Is it to give the thing a subject? Do you call that work?
Well, to fine tune it and to figure out like if
Yeah, you
is
gotta
he
type stuff in more than once, Christian.
yeah, and well,
Like
I mean, and
3 times.
go through the audio and figure out, all right, does this work? Like, how much work is he putting into it? Like, I mean, if it's something that the AI just all spat out on its own, that's even more impressive, I think.
Anyways, I find it gross.
Hey,
I could go on for a long time about
I see
it
AI
because
as a way for dumb tech bros to think that they can do artist stuff, but I think it's not gonna. I don't think it'll ever reach the peak, or culturally, art will shift to just be like slightly fucked up so that AI can't replicate it,
What do you mean?
which will drive some innovations in art.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I mean,
sure.
like you just start like I think we'll have a cultural shift so that like we'll start to recognize AI art more, and like regular art
Well,
or I guess if AI really takes over, what'll become old timey art, I guess, will be more will be like the old fashioned way of doing it will be done.
Oh, ancient art from like the
intentionally-
80s.
yeah, yeah,
Where you intentionally like fuck it up so that an AI can't replicate what you've made.
yeah, right.
But I mean, it could lead to some interesting innovation in artwork. But yeah, mostly, well, I don't really take it.
I mean, I think that
but
potentially, like, if AI art is taking off, then there is still going to be a niche for like handmade art where you're going to have like authenticity things to prove that like a person actually made it, which could even just make it more valuable.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, you can look at the way that like things were mass produced, and that made handcrafted items that much more valuable and sought after. I mean, it can
more
definitely
of
be
a
the same
like
sort of thing.
novelty, though.
Oh yeah, no, but I mean that
But
drives
that's okay.
up
I guess
price.
art's more of a novelty.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess the other way of things happening, although it'll probably go the other direction, but I mean, with AI art, we could see more, or at least like a better bang for the government grant bucks of for any like endowments. But it's not like federal endowments for they took what would normally be federal endowments for art. You could probably produce more mid-tier AI art out of a federal endowment than you could like actual art.
Right.
Not that I want to take art away from federal endowment, or like take federal endowments away from artists, but just thinking more like just something where you would need a lot of art.
Yeah.
But it
Yeah, that's a
doesn't
good
matter
point.
what it is. It's more like a
They just
like
need it. Yeah.
Yeah, like decorating a Chili's or something. You know.
Right. Yeah.
Some
Stock portraits.
yeah, just
Yeah.
some junk art. Yeah. I think that's I think that'll really be AI's itch, is making like stock portraits and shit. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. There's that scare that it's going to be indiscernible at some point.
Maybe it will be.
Right.
Well, that's why I say like, well, then I mean, art would just adapt to that by being intentionally fucked up.
Yeah, I think that's further
So
off.
the art, I mean, not fucked up in like a dark subject matter kind of way, just fucked up in a just like intentionally make it look ugly in some way, mar it in some way.
Yeah, that's kind of like what currently goes on with like some programming stuff. Like there's things that people put into the programming so that if their code gets stolen by AI, like they can point out like
there you go. There's already some precedent for that for
that actually
stuff.
yeah,
That actually happens in programming quite a bit.
yeah.
Oh well,
Yeah.
they do that for like a digital fingerprint, right? So
Yeah, pretty
they can
much.
point
So
at
that-
and be like, there's no reason that anything would make this code. It is
Exactly.
intentionally fucked up.
Yeah, like
This
you
doesn't
had to-
actually do anything. This wouldn't.
Yep.
You'd have to
Precisely.
know. You'd have to know that this was here.
Yeah.
So I guess like I don't know. I guess art could go that way. I don't know. Let's see where it goes. I don't think AI is at anywhere near
No, I agree.
the level. There is some issues with like voice actors. I can certainly understand that strike. Because as far as like replicating audio, it does pretty good at that. But that's that's not really like AI art. It's not like having a conversation with you. You just soundboard some audio.
Yeah.
Soundboard people's voices.
Yeah.
I mean, it's also good. Like if you're
It's not
trying to be
new
like,
technology.
if you're out there trying to be one and you're doing a lot of independent stuff, like do watch what you're like signing onto.
Oh,
if you're
yeah,
worried
no.
about that stuff, you know.
Well, that's the thing is that I there's more awareness now, in just in the internet age that we're in.
that's
you
what I
hear,
meant,
you hear
like, when it
more of
comes
like
to
people who
being-
are our age, who when they were getting a crack in the business, like they didn't have people who even like slightly guided them, because they just didn't know anybody, and that information wasn't out there. You couldn't like, go to the library and find it. And so they got taken advantage of pretty bad.
Yeah, I mean that happens in a lot of things where there's contracts and stuff involved. Just know what you're signing. If you don't, get someone.
Right. I mean, if it comes to contracts, you should get a lawyer. Bottom line.
Yeah, honestly.
Well,
And a lot of lawyers offer.
A lot of people, if they're going to be desperately taking contracts, you're not going to be able to afford a lawyer.
That's
you take it to your bank. Your bank,
Right.
your bank
yeah.
will look over a lot of contracts and tell you whether they're like legit or not. At least anything to do with any sort of finances.
Yeah, that's true.
Your bank will be happy to help you with that. They're as interested as you are in you not losing a bunch of money. They also want you to
unless
it's to them.
Fargo.
Yeah.
Yeah, unless it's Wells Fargo.
Overdraft fees? Yes, please.
Well, they had the they did have a cool thing here recently though, Wells Fargo, just the branch here. But that was like last month. Did you hear about?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, Union trying to.
Oh,
yeah,
really?
The branch here successfully unionized, making it the first large bank in the U.S. to unionize.
Wow. Yeah,
They're not
hear
fully
about
unionized, but the branch here unionized.
Yeah.
I think just one of the locations as well.
I think it's just the main one, the downtown.
Yeah, I think that's right. I don't know. I don't know if that's wrong or not. I know it's not the one by my place. They probably need the union most of all. The one by my place sucks.
But yeah, I think that, I don't really know what else that I did this week.
Bad and dumb. Don't trust it. Don't trust it, everybody.
So we got into a long conversation about it. I guess
that's the moral takeaway about AI.
Pull away from your week.
I saw this documentary called Terminator, and then Terminator 2, and Terminator 3, and Terminator. I don't remember the name.
The Sarah Chronicles.
Yeah, the TV show. I saw the pilot episode of that.
What's funny is that it is actually very accurate in the way with the AI like fighting against it. Like I said, how people are working in things to like discover AI. Well, AI is figuring out how to catch on to that, and that's what happens in the shows, right? Like we stop it, but then they send back somebody to stop what we stopped, and it's just a vicious cycle.
The AI is just going to learn from our TV shows how we would stop it.
Exactly.
We're going to stop making TV shows about it.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I get all my plans.
I also get all my plans from TV.
That's fair.
Sometimes I don't even realize it till later.
Yeah, I don't have anything else, so let's do some news.
News? Yeah.
I don't have any news.
I just kind of did some of my news.
Yeah, I guess AI rambles.
Yeah, I did. One of the things I was going to mention was the George Carlin thing and the statement from his daughter, which I feel, especially when we were talking about it, regardless of how anybody feels, probably a good thing to put out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, I have a couple other things. Oh, these cultists! Son of a bitch! Ah! Ah! Okay, all right. Fine. Pausing.
Are you sure?
I'm in like one of the boss fights.
You don't want to get more angry?
Let's go.
How are you even playing?
Break a GameCube?
Tape to tape.
Oh right, tape to tape.
I mean, he only dented it. He didn't break it. We don't talk about
Capcom?
Need for Speed in this party anymore.
There was one other thing in in AI.
Yeah.
GTA 5 voice actor also got really mad. An AI company made a chat voice bot of him.
Oh, that's right. I heard about this.
His statement. Let me see if it continues on. Further on. So I'm not worried about being replaced. I just hate these fuckers and I'm pissed as fuck. that our shitty union is so damn weak that
Mm-hmm.
that will soon be the issue of legit work.
Yep.
Not just some lame douchebag trying to make money off of our voice.
Yeah. Well, with the actors and everything doing their stuff, people in these artistic professions definitely need to protect their stuff. So
yeah, and look, like even from the sounds of it, there, even like I'm not to say what he thinks or whatever like that, but if I was to take a look at that statement, what I kind of see is like he's not mad that like AI is there and doing things. It's just like, yo, we need to get paid for this. Like,
yeah,
if you're going to use
should.
my voice in an AI thing, cool. Where's my money? And I think that's fair when you're the one who.
Well, when capitalism is a thing, that's completely fair to ask for.
Exactly. That's my point. I wish it wasn't. But hey.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. It's one of those things where I hope, the video game industry. Oh my god.
I mean, I think we've said quite a lot about AI, so I'm not going to go on too much more about it at all.
It's more.
Also happened.
Again,
Maximum overdrive. All right, now I'm done talking about AI.
Okay. This is exactly how it started.
I think though, this is more of a conversation about how shitty the fucking games industry is.
Well, I mean, there's that, and like, yeah, industry, yeah, the industry is pretty bad.
Yeah.
Capcom. Speaking of the industry, Capcom gotten some pretty good, had some pretty good woes, this last week.
Mm-hmm.
They released a DRM for Resident Evil Revelations, which then broke mods for the game, which then they got a bunch of backlash for and now have reinstated or have taken back. They've gone back.
Wow.
But yeah, Capcom trying to stop that mod game.
Mm-hmm.
Star Citizen. Do you know Star Citizen?
I know of Star Citizen. I'm not like into it, but yeah.
Of course. Well, I'm sure you're not. You don't have enough money to be. So Star Citizen, in case you don't know, is a game that's been on Kickstarter. It probably still is. It's raised currently over $650 million for game development over a decade. It has not had a full release, had no full release date in sight.
Nope.
As currently. They released a new DLC bundle. Some exciting new ships. Do you want to know how much it costs?
How much?
$46,000.
What?
Actually, I'm sorry. 46,000 euros. So technically like $49,000.
Cool. Games.
We want to talk about a game like made for whales. Holy shit.
That is, I don't know. There was something that the Player One podcast pointed out though, that the prices in video games have not gone up very much compared to everything else.
That's because video games have been ripping us off since they moved off of cartridges.
That's true.
They should have dropped drastically when they moved off of cartridges. At this point, they've caught up to where they probably should have been. But no, video games went from costing like $30 a cartridge to make to costing $1, if not less, to make.
And
but
now less because they don't even have to produce a CD.
They remain $60. So they waxed us for decades.
Well, but I don't think it's just that too. I mean, because other expenses have gone up. The cost of making a game has gone up significantly.
That's that's not entirely. That's just where the industry decided to go.
Well, yeah, no, but I mean that's
They're the ones spending the money on it.
well, I'm just saying, I'm just pointing that out there because one of the guys in Player One podcast, he works for an indie developer, and he like produces some of these games like big time for them. So he's aware of that sort of stuff. And he says that he feels like there are some AAA titles that you know, like the good ones where they've put in a lot of like time and effort, that probably should be more.
Go ahead and point me to one. I mean,
Spider-Man.
I really haven't played.
That's what he said.
Okay. Well, I haven't played that.
That's not a good example. That's
I haven't
a bad example.
played.
I was gonna give you a good example.
Which
I
was a
haven't
good
played one.
example.
Oh, No Man's Sky. I think that game is worth more than.
I don't think that's a
more than the
AAA.
asking.
No.
title
That's
game,
not what we're talking about here. Because I can list a number of games that are worth more than the price that I paid for them.
Yeah,
that's not,
and that's the other
not
thing
what's
that
at
he was
discussion.
saying too, as well, is that there
What
are
I'm
so
talking
many
about
games where they don't get enough.
is a AAA game.
Yeah,
I'm talking
Okay.
AAA
So-
specifically game
They're all dog shit.
that I feel I would pay more than that for, and I can't think of a single one. Mostly, I mean, maybe that's just my cynicalness. I also haven't really enjoyed anything AAA for a while. The closest I get is Baldur's Gate.
yeah. I was gonna say Baldur's Gate. It's technically a AAA game.
By a AA studio, though. I mean, they got AAA funding for it, but the studio itself is still a small, like, not small, but not
Well,
a
they're
AAA
double-A
studio.
yeah.
I mean, I think the AAA refers to how much money is being spent on it.
That's fair. If you, I know
Well,
some people who argue either way.
It refers to the studio. Well, I mean,
Well,
I would
studio
say
and
money
publisher.
in the studio in general as well. Like
Yeah.
You'd be a AAA studio.
Yeah.
AAA publisher. It is a AAA game from not a AAA publisher.
Yeah, from
Yeah.
a AA. And so, I mean, I guess that, but I haven't really enjoyed like too many of them. Sure, some of them are okay, but would I pay more than I don't like paying the $60 for it. Usually I wait for games to go on sale.
Oh yeah, no, me too.
I hate paying the full price for them now. But I do know a
Right.
bunch of indie games and stuff that I've happily paid like more than I did for.
Oh yeah, indie games. That's the thing, is that well, and that's what he was saying, is that because some of these AAA games that tons of people buy, that, you know, and he even said too, you know, that subjectively could be like worth more, like people would sometimes pay more for it than what they're currently asking for, that it ends up sometimes devaluing indie games, and that there's an expected price point for them. That's what brought on this whole conversation, basically. That they were
I
talking
think that's an
about.
interesting discussion too, because I think it was. I mean, we didn't talk about it, but like a couple weeks ago, there's a game that is releasing a DLC, Hydroneer. A game I play, which I rather enjoy.
What's it
just
called?
like Hydroneer. You build yourself a little mine and
And hydrate.
and build and dig out gold and stuff. It's a cool game. Very easy, very basic. Super fun though.
Mhm.
The game's $15, which is very low for what there is. There's quite a lot there. It's a
Mhm.
lot. It's a good game. I'd easily pay I'd easily pump that up to 20, no problem. But he released a DLC, or going to be releasing a DLC for the game.
Yeah.
And he got a bunch of backlash for wanting to release DLC for the game at $10 is what he was going to sell it for.
They were saying that was too expensive.
Just a whole bunch of people were mad. Yeah, like a whole bunch of people like oh, that's half the price of the more than half the price of the game, and that's ridiculous. And like he had to come on, he made another statement on Steam, like literally like hours after putting it up, all like he never had an intention to make DLC for the game, first off. And then when it came to like having the idea of one, he wanted to make sure that it was going to be like worth it. This is like a whole nother island to do your mining off of. Not to mention a whole new set of mechanics with flowing lava, a new big old shop town, new stuff, like lots of stuff. Like we're talking like a good amount of content.
Well, here's the thing, like if he wasn't planning on making DLC, that should be the end of the discussion right there, because a lot of DLC that comes out, part of the reason why they can offer it at a fraction of the price, it's because it was already built in. Yeah, like they just needed to finish it, basically.
Yeah. So,
yeah. That's the sort of things that they were discussing on the last Player One podcast, is that the price points that AAA games are at are devaluing what indie developers should be making on their games. And I think there's some truth to that, because
I mean, somewhat. I think when people think indie game, that should always be cheap, and I don't think that should necessarily be the case. I've seen plenty of indie productions.
I agree.
They definitely deserve to have, $60 thrown at them for their game. Well,
they're even bringing up too, like if a game just uses like, sprite-based graphics, that people automatically assume that means that they should pay less for the game.
Oh, I just think that's a wrong assumption. I don't know,
but it's what people think.
I think that's a lot. That's where a lot of your your mentioned like rising costs of production are coming from, is developing in the latest engines, on the latest hardware,
right,
with the people who have the latest trading and paying the top dollar for that. And why? I'm playing Hades right now. The graphics are not amazing on this game. I love it. It's awesome.
And I think the graphics, they look cool.
They look really good. They're really stylized.
Yeah, exactly.
I've always been somebody who's never cared really about graphics. It's always been more of like the game is more fun than anything.
So I don't. Yeah, that's one thing that really bugs me about the industry, is that it's all gone over to, at least in terms of the AAA industry, it's all gone over to, we have to have like the prettiest game.
Yeah.
And that's nice for about the first 5 minutes of the game. Like, oh wow, this is pretty to look at, but that's then I want to play a game.
But then they also want to tack on all that live service to it. It's like, yeah, great, your game looks pretty, but will you stop with these ads?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and I think too, like it probably the sort of people that aren't like as into video games as we are. And it's the sort of audience who when Microsoft says that they want to bring out some of their games for the PlayStation, get upset.
Well, I mean, you kind of see that already just in the industry, and you have for a while. Oh
yeah, I know.
The sports games. You have a whole bunch of people who play like all the sports games every year. They buy their Madden or whatever. They've been getting taken advantage of through these like loot boxes and stuff for way longer than we have, and never said anything about it because they just don't play the other games. But as soon as they try and do that to like the games that have those gamer bases and stuff, you instantly see them have to backpedal and stuff. You saw it with Battlefield or Battlefront 2 when they did that. Shadow of War, the Lord of the Rings game. You saw it with that one. Like, yeah, like when we start becoming more accepting of these things, that's when they just start trying to take advantage with. They saw that people were cool with like live service stuff for a while, and now we got like a whole bunch of it. Enough so that everyone's getting tired of live service stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I have one more bit to talk about.
Do it.
Which is Ubisoft
What about them this time?
making news again. Least it wasn't about like hiding sexual assault allegations or anything this time. No, they of course they have their subscription service that they've done. It's like $7.99
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. But they're adding a new tier. They're adding Ubisoft Plus Premium
Oh, joy.
HD Remix. Of course, unlocking a new tier. This will be like the Game Pass version. It's gonna be like $20. But if you're willing to if you apparently really like Ubisoft games for whatever reason,
Well, they have some good
it
stuff.
could be worth it.
They have some okay stuff.
Every so often I see a game and I'm like, oh wait, well haven't I liked that? And then I see who it's from and I'm like, oh yeah, okay, right. I just move along.
Right.
Yeah. Most Ubisoft games, once I play it, they all kind of feel the same, and then I don't feel like they've done like Assassin's Creed any justice, only making it worse.
Fair.
Some people not happy about it, whatever. But the big stuff, Ubisoft executive wants to get to the point where gamers are comfortable not owning their game.
Oh, I think they're already there. Like, he doesn't have anything to worry about.
And a little quote from him. He's like, one thing we saw is that that we want is gamers to be like DVD.
Yeah.
And like CDs.
Yeah, that's
You're not owning those collections anymore. That type of stuff. But he also like tries to confront it. And by the way, Ubisoft, who closed down 2 games this last year pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
2 live service games that they shut down within like a year of launching. That these they want to grow more comfortable with the aspect. You know, you don't lose progress. If you resume your game at another time, your progress file is still there and has not been deleted. I don't think that's what gamers are worried about. It's that you're going to stop doing anything with the game and then decide not to have that game out there anymore.
right.
They forget that they keep releasing all these like live service games that do require us to like trust in them more. Because we got to trust that they'll keep going. Because as soon as they stop,
That's
great,
it.
I have the game, but it's no good. There's no server to hop on. There's nothing there. You know?
Right.
So needless to say, there's quite a bit of comments from him about the subject. If you did want to read more, IGN has a really good article about it.
Okay.
But yeah, it's clear that not a lot of people were very thrilled by his reaction. First off, people still like physical copies of things.
Yeah, they do. But I mean, the industry is going that way in the same way that DVDs and music have. Like,
Sure.
honestly, he's going to get what he wants.
Oh, we're already
eventually.
to that point. We're already pretty used to digital storefronts.
Right? Yeah.
I was like, he needs that's not like I said, like it kind of just seems out of touch because it's not that we're afraid that our progress file is going to go somewhere. It's that we're afraid to go remove service from the game you made
Yeah, exactly.
a year ago.
Yep.
Well, that's just a way to market it in a way that sounds pleasing.
Right.
Yeah.
Not that we're going to take away your things from you, but you won't lose it.
Yeah,
We're just going to keep it safe for you.
Oh wow, thanks.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Ubisoft always looking out for me.
That was the last thing I had with Ubisoft being a bunch of goobers.
A bunch of goobers.
Bunch of goofy goobers.
Thanks, Grandpa.
Is that a grandpa term?
Goober?
I use goobers. Yeah.
I use goober quite a lot. Is that really
that's
a grandpa
old.
term?
It's a
Yeah,
Andrew term.
we're showing our boomer right now.
Your
Oh, man.
boomer's showing. Watch out, your boomer's showing.
Only cool kids say goofy goobers.
I think it's coming back. I think that some of those older ones, they're making a little bit of comeback.
They like all that old shit, right?
Yeah.
I've been seeing like a whole bunch of like those knitting machines.
Oh, Gen Alpha's
those, like,
all into all the old
all
shit.
those like automated knitting machines.
Mhm.
That's
My mom-
garbage. Learn how
my
to
mom
knit
had-
for yourself.
My mom had like 3 of those.
No, I'm gonna design an AI to knit for me. I'll just tell it. Like,
AI knitting.
Oh, I'm sure that already exists.
Actually,
How
I'm
do you
pretty
think
sure
your
there
clothes are
is.
made?
Right?
They created
I
some
guess
crazy
basically
sewing.
that.
They created some crazy sewing machines out there.
Mhm.
They have some that make lace, and those are crazy.
Yeah, I was watching something on basically like the first guy that figured out how to do how the needle needs to be designed and the way that it all needs to thread to make like a really efficient sewing machine.
Yeah,
It was pretty
That was the guy who
interesting
made, like,
stuff.
it's the guy who made like Singer sewing machines.
No, it's older than that. I don't think he's like credited for anything. Like I think I can't remember. It was really late at night and I was trying to go to bed. And that came
That's
on
fair.
and I stayed up way too late. So
That's fair,
you know how those go.
I do.
of course. Well, I should we call it here?
Yeah,
It
let's
seemed
call
like
it
a
here.
good-
We're over our usual time, so yeah, good time.
Yeah, we had a pretty good discussion. I think it was a pretty good podcast myself.
Oh yeah, no, this is good stuff. Again,
I thought
like
it was terrible. I had nothing to talk about.
And whose
Play more
fault
games.
is that?
I have been really into State of Decay too.
that's fair,
You want to see that? Y'all go watch my damn live streams.
right?
Tomorrow morning, you can watch them.
Yeah.
Also, check out tomorrow. We have Coffee and Corn Dogs will be in the morning. I'll be later on in the evening.
Mhm.
Playing Psychonauts. The Thursday multiplayer stuff. Maybe
Yeah.
some Dead Pixels.
Yeah.
That's cool.
I'm in for that. Some of the metaphysical. Samba,
Metaphysical.
Yeah,
are you in for it?
maybe. I don't know. I don't know what's going on Thursday.
We'll play it by ear.
It's so far in the future.
It's my birthday.
Yep.
That's what's going on Thursday.
No, okay.
Well, it's Andrew's birthday. I can't play. I'll be busy.
He's gonna be playing with us.
He didn't request me to play. He just said it's his birthday, so I'm going to celebrate here by myself.
I was just making you guys aware so you know how to pick on me less.
Pick on you more. Got it.
Right? Yep. But yeah, catch us here on the YouTubes every Tuesday nights where we do the podcast, and now also on Twitch. Now that I got that working, yeah,
Yeah, a
Find
bunch
us
of
on-
stuff coming soon on YouTube. So
yeah.
keep in touch with us on YouTube.
And we got the Discord coming in soon.
See.
So you'll find links on our YouTube for that, as well as on our website, classicgamebrain.com. And with that, catch you guys next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, you beautiful bastards.
That's
Jeez.
loud.
I know. It got personal.
You son